Leo, listen closely, this is not a drill. Something shocking may happen to your daughter in the next few hours. Yes, I'm starting with that. Because sugarcoating it doesn't serve you, and you didn't come here for vague inspiration, you came here for truth. You came because something inside you has been stirring. A restlessness. A heaviness you haven't been able to explain. And I'm here to tell you you're not imagining it. This is not just energy shifting randomly in the background. Something real is unfolding, and it directly involves your daughter. Now, I know that's a lot to process right off the bat. But if you're still here, I trust you can handle it. Because I've worked with energy long enough to recognize when it's speaking clearly, and right now, the message is coming through strong. And it's personal. Leo, you're not just watching another horoscope. You're stepping into a moment that could change how you show up for the person you love most in this world. That matters. And no, your presence here isn't a coincidence. It never is. You didn't just scroll and click. You were drawn here because your energy, your protective instinct, your intuitive side picked up on something. Maybe you've already sensed it. A shift in your daughter's behavior. A silence that feels louder than usual. That nagging feeling that something's just off. That's not paranoia. That's connection. Right now, the sun, your ruling planet, is lighting up a tense angle to the moon, triggering deep emotional undercurrents, especially in the areas of home, safety, and relationship dynamics. That's astrology talk, but here's what it really means. Your parental instinct is firing on all cylinders, and it's time to trust it. This is not about panic. It's about presence. This is not about being perfect. It's about being here. I've seen this moment before in the lives of so many people when the signs were there, but they didn't act because they told themselves it was just a phase. A rough day. Teenage stuff. And then suddenly, the window to intervene quietly closed. I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I'm inviting you to stay with me until the end of this message. Not because I need your views, but because I believe this video found you for a reason. You're being asked to pause, to pay attention, and maybe to step into your most sacred role, protector of your daughter's spiritual well-being. And if any part of what I'm saying hits a nerve, resonates in your chest, stirs up that lump in your throat, and ignore it. Take a moment right now to comment below, "I'm ready to protect my daughter." Say it out loud if you need to. Write it down. Let it anchor you in this moment. This is more than a reading. It's a mirror. A checkpoint. A holy interruption from whatever else you were doing today, asking you to stop, breathe, and truly see what's happening beyond the surface. So breathe with me now. And stay close. Because what I'm about to show you may explain everything you've been sensing. And if you stay until the end, I promise you'll walk away not just with awareness but with clarity, with tools, and with the quiet strength to stand in the gap for the one who needs you most. Let's begin. The energy surrounding your daughter right now feels like a quiet spiral, subtle to the outside world, but deeply real beneath the surface. It's not explosive, not dramatic. It's the kind of shift that builds slowly until, all of a sudden, something snaps or spills. And that's exactly what worries me. Because the cards show me not just what is but what could be if we don't pause and truly see. What I'm sensing is a heavy downward pull. It's like watching someone walk through water that keeps getting deeper, but they're still smiling on the surface. The moon, in tarot, reveals hidden emotions, illusions, and fears. When it shows up like it does now, paired with the Five of Cups and the Eight of Swords, it tells a story of someone who feels trapped in their own thoughts, grieving something silently, and unable to express it clearly. That combination points to one thing: your daughter may be carrying a weight she's not talking about. She may be smiling at the dinner table, showing up for school, laughing with her friends. But spiritually, emotionally, somewhere else. Distant. Pulled inward. Guarded. And here's what's even more important: this energy is not just emotional. It's cosmic. Right now, there's a tense alignment between the moon and Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation, but it rarely whispers, it digs. It uncovers. It surfaces buried emotions, especially fears of loss, abandonment, or shame. When this energy hits the moon, symbol of inner life, of childhood, of the feminine, it can stir up a powerful internal storm. But it's a quiet storm. One that brews behind closed doors and closed lips. Add to this the influence of Venus moving through a fire sign, and what you have is intensity of feeling that's hard to verbalize. Fire signs feel things deeply, but often don't know how to say what they're feeling, especially when the feeling is raw, confusing, or shameful. Your daughter could be experiencing heart-level conflict without having the language or the safety to express it yet. And if you're not listening closely, you might miss the signs, not because you don't care, but because the signs don't always look like distress. And that's the paradox of emotional pain, especially in young people. The more they hurt, the more they hide. They don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to be a burden. Sometimes, they don't even know what's happening inside them, so how could they explain it? So they act like everything's fine. And that's what makes this moment so delicate. Because what I see in the energy right now is a threshold. A tipping point. Something may be approaching, a situation, a confrontation, a disappointment, a betrayal, and she might not be ready for it. And if she feels like she's facing it alone, she may withdraw further, or worse, shut down completely. Let me ask you something gently. When was the last time you really looked into her eyes, without distractions, without judgment? Did you notice a flicker of sadness? A silence that lasted a bit too long? Was there a moment when she opened up a little, but you were too busy, or too afraid, to follow her into that space? This isn't about guilt. It's about awareness. It's easy to miss these moments. Life is loud. Our schedules are packed. We want to believe they're okay, because the alternative is terrifying. But that fear cannot become a blindfold. Because the spiral I'm seeing around her, it's not inevitable. But it is close. And it's quiet enough that if no one notices, it might become something deeper. And that's why you're being called to pay attention now, not in panic, but in presence. Sometimes, protecting our children doesn't look like grand gestures or life lessons. Sometimes, it's as small and as secret as sitting beside them in silence, offering nothing but safety. Sometimes, healing begins with the words, "I see you, and you don't have to carry this alone." So right now, I'm inviting you to do something powerful and simple. Drop into this moment. Tune into that subtle feeling you've been pushing aside. The instinct. The gut check. And ask yourself again, what is my daughter not saying right now? If you feel even a small yes inside, take a deep breath and comment below, I choose to see her. Say it. Declare it. Not for the algorithm, but for your soul. For her soul. Let it be a turning point, not just in this video, but in how you show up moving forward. Because you don't have to fix everything. You just have to see what's real before it's hidden too deep to reach. And this is your moment to do exactly that. Stay with me. It's only just begun. The reason I'm leaning in so closely right now, the reason I'm still here with you is because what I'm seeing next is even more delicate than what we've already explored. Your daughter isn't just tired. She isn't just emotionally drained. She's standing at what I can only describe as a threshold, a breaking point. Imagine a thin line drawn across two different realities. On one side, light. Stability. Groundedness. On the other, shadows. Confusion. And just one breath, one moment, one decision, is all it takes for her to tilt in either direction. This isn't just poetic. It's energetic. It's real. And it's happening now. In tarot, this moment is mirrored by cards like the Lovers, not just about romance, but about the power of choice. Then there's the Two of Swords, symbolizing indecision, emotional stalemate, and the burden of picking a path without all the information. And then, of course, there's the Tower. Sudden, shocking change. The kind of experience that pulls the floor out from beneath you. What connects all of these cards is timing, pressure, and consequence. And from what I feel, your daughter is caught right in the middle of this triad. Now, when I say a breaking point, I don't mean that she's falling apart. I mean she's being asked internally, spiritually, emotionally to choose how she wants to move forward. She may not even realize it, but something is being offered or presented to her right now. That could be a relationship she's unsure about. It could be a friend who's pulling her into something she instinctively knows isn't right. It might be an emotional confrontation she's been avoiding, or even a personal battle that's silently unraveling within her. From an astrological perspective, this makes sense. There's activity in the fourth house, the house of home, roots, and emotional safety. When that part of the sky is under pressure, it often translates into instability or vulnerability at home. Not necessarily because anything's wrong at home, but because that's where all the internal conflict gets projected. And right now, the energy for the next 6 to 12 hours is electric. It's not volatile, but it's highly responsive. That means anything she encounters, a conversation, a message, an emotion, could carry much more weight than usual. This is why presence matters so deeply right now. In numerology, the number 7 shows up as a symbol of inner protection. It's the vibration of spiritual shield, solitude, and divine understanding. If today feels heavier than normal, try holding on to that number. Whisper it. Write it down. Visualize it wrapping around her like a layer of calm. And if you want something tangible to work with, lean into color. Shades of blue and soft lavender carry frequencies of peace, honesty, and clarity. If she's wearing something blue today, or if you offer her something as simple as a lavender candle or a scarf, let it be a quiet message. You are seen. You are safe. Let me ask you something personal, if I may. Do you sense that your daughter is caught between two choices right now? Has she been quieter than usual, or perhaps overly emotional for no clear reason? Is there a tension in her eyes like she's deciding something she doesn't want to speak out loud? If your heart says yes to any of that, I want you to pause this for a moment and type in the comments, "I'm standing with her at the crossroads." Because whether she says it or not, she needs someone to stand there with her to hold steady when she feels unsure, to offer clarity when the pressure to just decide becomes too much. The choices ahead may not seem big from the outside, but spiritually, emotionally, they shape who she's becoming. And right now, she just needs to know she's not facing them alone. Keep holding that space. It matters more than you think. Let's be honest for a moment. When you love someone with your whole heart, your child especially, there's this part of you that wants to believe you always know what's going on with them. You've raised them, watched them grow. You've been there for the scraped knees, the broken hearts, the late-night stomach aches. You've poured so much of yourself into them that it's hard to imagine a world where they're hurting and you don't see it. But sometimes, Leo, love gets in the way of clarity. You protect. You provide. You guide. And because your love runs so deep, you might not even realize that you're looking at your daughter not with the eyes of someone who's hurting, but with the eyes of someone who desperately wants her to be okay. And so, you take her words at face value when she says she's fine. You let the smile convince you. You accept the silence as peace. You assume the strength is real. But here's the dangerous part. Some kids get really good at faking it, not because they're dishonest, but because they love you back. Because they don't want you to worry. Because they've seen how much you carry already. And so, they learn to put on the brave face. To laugh when they feel like crying. To nod when they don't understand. To say, "I'm fine," even when their heart is quietly breaking inside. That's what I mean when I talk about the paradox of parenting, especially for someone like you. Leo parents are fierce, loyal, all heart. But sometimes, that fierce protection becomes a filter. And that filter causes you to miss the signals that don't scream but whisper. Let's take a moment to look at this from a psychological lens. When kids feel emotionally overwhelmed, they often slip into a defense mechanism that looks like strength but is really just silence. It's not because they're cold. It's because they don't have the words. And so, they suppress. They hold their breath. They wait for the storm to pass quietly, alone, and unseen. And what happens to suppressed emotions? They don't disappear. They gather. They stack on top of each other like weights. Until one day, something small, an argument, a failure, even a moment of rejection cracks the surface. And the wave that's been held back comes crashing all at once. That's why today matters so much. Right now, I'm asking you to stop scanning for the big red flags, and instead, watch for the soft signals. They're quieter, but they're just as real. The sudden silence in the middle of a sentence. The smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes. The way her shoulders stiffen when someone asks about school. The way she flinches just slightly when you mention someone's name. Maybe she's been staying in her room longer than usual. Maybe she answers you with, "Nothing's wrong," a little too fast. Maybe she's been avoiding eye contact without even realizing it. These moments are not coincidences. They are messages in disguise. Let me ask you this, gently. When was the last time you asked, "Are you okay?" and she said, "I'm fine," but deep down, you knew she wasn't? What did you do next? Did you press further or did you back off, afraid to cross a boundary? It's not about blame. It's about learning to hear the unsaid things. About trusting your gut when something doesn't feel right. About understanding that strength sometimes looks like silence and silence sometimes hides pain. So today, instead of waiting for a breakdown to finally validate your concern, I want to invite you to lean in softly, without pressure. Look for the patterns. Hold space for what's not being said. And most importantly, let her know you're ready when she is. And if you've ever had that moment where she told you she was okay and you knew she wasn't, I want you to comment below, "I saw it, and I won't ignore it again." Because sometimes the most powerful kind of love is quiet, steady awareness. And today, that love could change everything. Sometimes, the universe doesn't whisper. Sometimes, it shakes the ground beneath our feet not to punish us, but to wake us up. That's what I'm seeing now. And if I've learned anything from years of working with both energy and real-life human pain, it's this: when something shocking is about to happen, it's almost never random. It's often the soul's way of saying, "You've waited long enough. It's time to look closer." In the cards, the Tower has arrived, loud and unavoidable. A symbol of sudden change, emotional jolt, and the collapse of whatever's no longer true. It's not gentle. But it's not cruel either. It comes when something's been building too long in silence, when truth has been buried under fear, shame, or silence. Alongside the Tower, I also see Justice, which tells me that clarity is coming. A truth will rise, whether you're ready or not. Page of Swords is also here, symbolizing information, observation, even a confrontation. And then, in the shadows, there's the Devil, a card that isn't evil, but is deeply revealing. It speaks of attachments, mental traps, emotional dependence, manipulation, temptation, the places where freedom is traded for comfort, or where fear wins out over truth. Taken together, this reading speaks of a moment that is coming, a moment that may jolt you emotionally or spiritually, but one that holds the potential to shift everything. Not just for your daughter, but for you too. It could be a confession, a secret revealed. It might be a sharp change in her emotions that you didn't expect. It could be something said at school or online, a social moment that cuts deeper than anyone realizes. Maybe she'll speak up about a pain she's been hiding. Or maybe, you'll uncover something that breaks your heart, not because of betrayal but because it's been hurting her in silence for far too long. There may even be someone in her circle, a friend, a classmate, an older influence whose presence is more harmful than helpful. Someone who feeds off her self-doubt, who pressures her emotionally, or who plays with the boundaries she's still learning to set. It could also be subtler, a budding romantic situation or emotional entanglement that feels thrilling but is rooted in confusion or control. That's what the Devil shows us when a bond forms not from love, but from unmet needs or illusion. Astrologically, Pluto is active again, digging into what's been hidden, unspoken, repressed. When Pluto's involved, we don't get to keep secrets, not even from ourselves. And right now, it's pressing against the Moon, stirring emotional vulnerability, and exposing fault lines we hoped no one would notice. Meanwhile, Neptune the Dreamer forms a haze around it all, making it hard to tell what's real and what's wishful thinking. This is why your presence matters more than ever. Because in the face of this event, whatever form it takes, you are the anchor. You are the calm. And you are the only one who can meet that moment without panic. Without judgment. With clarity. Let me be clear, this shocking moment isn't coming to break you. It's coming to awaken you. To bring your attention fully home. To remind you of the sacred space you hold in your daughter's life, not just as a provider or protector but as a witness. As someone who sees her when she hides. Who holds her steady when her world wobbles. So ask yourself, gently but truthfully, if the shock came today. Would I respond with fear or with presence? Would I freeze or would I breathe? Would I shame her or would I simply listen? I know that's not easy to sit with. But it's essential. If your heart is still here, still listening, then I want to invite you to claim your place in this story. Comment below, I choose to awaken, not react. Because reaction is easy. Awakening takes love. And today, love is your greatest tool. Don't let fear lead you out of the room. Stay. Observe. Be ready. Because sometimes, the earthquake isn't here to destroy the home. It's here to rebuild it stronger, from the foundation of truth. And that begins with you. There's something I need to say clearly, especially right now. Your daughter doesn't need you to be perfect. She doesn't need you to have all the answers, fix every problem, or hold it together at every moment. What she needs, more than anything, is your presence. Not the version of you that tries to manage everything. Just you. Quiet. Attuned. Present. She doesn't need a lecture. She needs a landing. Too often, especially in moments of pressure, we believe that if we just say the right thing, offer the right advice, or explain a lesson clearly enough, we can steer things back on course. But when someone is emotionally overwhelmed, especially a child, that's not what breaks through. It's not words that soothe. It's safety. And safety, in this case, looks like being a soft place to fall. Imagine your daughter right now like a small seedling caught in a sudden gust of wind. She's young, still forming her roots, still testing her reach. That wind might be external, a situation, a betrayal, a decision she's not ready for. Or it might be internal, a surge of anxiety, confusion, or insecurity she doesn't know how to name. Either way, when the wind rises, she instinctively looks for a place that feels safe enough to bend without breaking. And that place, Leo, is you. Not your rules. Not your opinions. You. Your attention. Your tone. Your gentle way of asking something like, "What wore you out most today?" instead of, "What's wrong with you?" That small shift in language can open doors where silence once lived. You don't have to know what to say. You just have to create a space where she feels safe enough to speak. And sometimes, the best way to do that is to invite stillness. Try sitting with her and doing nothing but breathing together. A simple 4-4-6 breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 6. The nervous system responds to rhythm. And when your body is calm, hers feels it too. This isn't just energy theory, it's neurobiology, heart coherence, resonance. Your state affects hers more than you know. Create an environment that tells her, without words, you're safe. Dim the lights. Light a candle. Let the space smell like lavender or sandalwood or something earthy. Wrap her in soft fabrics. Not to control, but to comfort. And when the moment comes, don't force a conversation. Let it come to you. Let her talk in fragments. Let her pause, go silent, start again. Let her circle the truth until she's ready to land on it. And if she says nothing, that's okay too. Just say, whenever you're ready, I'm here. You're not trying to fix her. You're trying to make her feel safe enough to fix herself. That's what true energetic shielding is. And in that space of warmth, trust, and unshakable presence, healing begins. Let me offer something more tactile. If you want to build this space into a daily ritual, start small. Create a 15-minute window each evening that belongs only to connection. No phones. No tasks. Just presence. It can be tea, a walk, music, drawing, or silence. Let it be consistent, not dramatic. What you're doing is weaving a thread between your energy and hers that tells her, this is a safe tether. You are not alone. Now, let me turn to you directly, because I know this isn't easy. Showing up like this takes energy. It takes awareness. But I also know you wouldn't be here if you weren't ready to offer that. And if your heart has been quietly nodding along this whole time, I invite you now to say it out loud, not just to yourself, but to the universe. Comment below, I'm ready to be her shield. Because she doesn't need someone to rescue her. She needs someone to stand steady in the storm. And Leo, if anyone was born for that, it's you. If you've stayed with me through this entire reading, let me say this, that alone is not a small act. It means your heart is open. Your spirit is paying attention. And that you're already doing the most sacred part of your work, not running from the discomfort, but leaning into it, gently and honestly. You see, what's coming isn't here to destroy your home. It's here to awaken it. The shocking moment we've spoken about, it's not a punishment. It's not chaos sent to break your family apart. It's a sacred call, echoing through your intuition, to remind you of the most important truth. You are not just a parent. You are your daughter's energetic protector. Her guidepost when things get cloudy. Her shelter when she forgets her own light. And while you may not always know exactly what to say, your presence, your attention, and your softness will say what words cannot. You've been called back into this sacred role not because you failed, but because the time is now. Because the moment ahead needs your full heart. And because no one else can offer what you can. You might feel small in the face of what's coming. You might think, how can I fix something I can't even fully see? But here's what I want you to hold on to. You are not powerless. You are not late. You are not unequipped. You are the one person whose intuition has always known when something was off. And now, instead of brushing that knowing aside, you're being asked to trust it. If you can stay grounded, if you can stay open, if you can remain calm and present when your daughter's energy wobbles, you become the quiet force that brings her back to herself. This isn't about being a perfect parent. This is about being a conscious one. A parent who knows that just because a child says, I'm fine, doesn't always mean they are. A parent who knows how to read the silence, how to soften the atmosphere, how to offer safety without saying much at all. So, as you move through the next few hours, maybe the next few days, do so with a heart that's both awake and steady. Don't panic. Don't overanalyze. Just return to what you now know. Your presence is enough. Your listening is enough. Your love, even in its quietest form, is more powerful than any storm trying to pull her away. You are the light. And right now, she needs you to shine it not by force, but by simply being there. Let me ask you something. If the energy you felt today was your wake-up call, what will you do differently tonight? Will you knock on her door, not with an agenda, but just to be close? Will you sit beside her, not to solve but to see her? Will you pause and ask, what tired you the most today, and truly listen to the answer? And more than anything, will you stay close not just physically, but emotionally, so that when the moment comes, she doesn't run away. She runs to you? If this message resonated with something in your heart, if you felt seen, called, or confirmed, I want you to take one simple action now. Leave a comment below and write, I'm ready to stand by her side. Let that be your declaration. Let that be your signal to the universe that you heard the call, and you're not backing down. You're showing up. And if you've had a moment like this before where you felt your child slipping but didn't know how to reach them, share that too. Your story might be the bridge that helps someone else tonight. If this video gave you clarity, courage, or comfort, I invite you to support the journey we're building here at Eternal Mindfulness. Like, subscribe, and be part of this space where guidance meets gentleness and where messages like this one reach the hearts that need them. Before we close, let me send one more thing to you, a quiet blessing for your daughter. May peace rest over her like a soft blanket tonight. May her thoughts slow down, her breath soften, and her soul remember she is held. May the light around her be strong and clear. And may you both feel the quiet truth, you are not alone in this. The universe does not send warnings to leave us afraid, it sends them to prepare us. And I promise you, this moment is not here to harm. It's here to return you to your rightful place as a guide, a guardian, a light that doesn't flicker in the wind. Thank you, deeply, for allowing me to walk with you tonight. Thank you for every like, every comment, every time you choose to come back and receive these words. Your presence powers this channel and allows messages like this to reach those who need them most. And if you've made it this far with me, Leo, just know, what's coming may be intense. But you are stronger than you think. Let your next step be calm. Let your next word be kind. Let your presence be the thing that turns the tide. Because tonight, you are not just watching. You are leading.